It's never too late to start. A friend of mine was telling me that after having laid off for quite a while, and now she's back exercising again, she feels great. And you can tell she does, because this is a friend. This is Marianne.
I posed for 28 years.
28 years.
Then
That's
only 2 years ago I started then again.
And John, I know you exercise because I see you bicycling all over Cambridge anyway.
Well, it's becoming addictive, and in another 10 years, it will be.
Good. And Paula, you started. Paula really has a good habit. She started when she was 4. She's 12 years old now. What are you doing?
Dancing also.
And why?
Oh, my mother, she danced, and now she was going to go into the Rockettes. She isn't now.
Did you hear that? Her mother was going to go into the Rockettes. That's really great. That's really great. I like that. And Paula, you can tell Paula has the habit because she sparkles.
Thank you, Maggie. But I danced, too, like Paula, when I was a youngster for 9 years. And the habit just keeps going, I think, when you're interested in it.
That's really great. And Ray, do you have the habit?
Well, I don't really. I just work sort of irregular hours. It's very hard to do things regularly, but I try to do something every day.
Yeah. It's important, if you can, to make it a habit. But remember, the one most important thing is it's never too late to start.
What next, Maggie?
Well, first of all, this is a test for circulation respiration mainly, and on top of that, we've laid the test for the hips and the hips. They're down here, and the chest, and a few other things. John is going to give us test 1 through the whole half hour. He's going to walk in place. You're welcome. We're making it easy for him. And for Paula, we have test 2. You can watch John anytime for test 1. You just walk in place. If you're very young and that's not enough for you, then you can jog in place. Paula, for test 2, you jog in place, and if you get the energy every now and then, you can do 1 or 2 of the exercises, but do them gently.
Okay.
Okay? And now, for the rest of us, this is going to be fun. We put we put all the other things in on top of the circulation respiration things. It's very important, John and Paula, to exaggerate the toe heel movement as much as you can to get as much movement into your foot as you possibly can, okay? Okay, shall we get started?
Yeah.
Okay, first. And beginners, just do everything very gently. If you think you're in better condition and can try some of these, don't do too many.
This isn't as easy as it looks, Maggie.
Really swing your arms way up and way back. And bend your knees a little bit more if you can. Doesn't that feel better? Good. Always keep each exercise up as long as you can. Okay, and run in place again. How's that feel?
Invigorating.
Beginners, remember, you should be checking John. He's still moving. And see how he's doing. If you're a little bit further along the way, then watch Paula see how much she does of each exercise. We're forcing them into this. They both, I think, feel a little bit more ambitious, but today they're going to show you exactly the way it should be handled. That's beautiful, John.
Nothing, really.
Okay, by the way, there's a difference in age groups. Young people are much better at things that take speed. But as you get older, you're better on things that take endurance. You can go much longer periods of time. Mariana, you have any information on that?
Yes, I have some experience, I can tell you.
when I 2 years ago started with exercising with you,
Yeah.
when we did some running, I just lasted only for about 2 minutes.
Oh, boy.
Then I stopped and did it again.
Yeah.
And let's see how long I can do it today. We'll see.
Okay. Next, come down. Get your bottom down as far as you can without it being all the way down. And then shift with your arms first over to one side and then over to the other. This is great for your inner thighs.
Pop.
And for your upper thighs. And for your bottom.
Yeah, all that's getting tired.
And up. And run in place again. You two getting tired watching us?
That was a good one, Maggie. Keep at it.
Remember, it's very important. If you're alive, you've got to change. You can't stay just sitting with yourself the way you are and never stay feeling satisfied. Those of you who haven't gotten started exercising yet, I know there are women who have invited in friends and have sort of a party and they work together. That makes it more fun. And there's another way to make it more fun too. You can even have something to eat. You have snacks. You eat up your own fat from the inside while you're working.
Oh, Leslie.
Okay? This one's a whole body exercise and it'll get you all over again. This isn't for the beginners. Okay, down, out, back, and up.
We did these in school.
You do these? How many can you do?
I don't know. We just do it until we get tired.
How you doing back there, John?
You're doing it very well, hon. Keep at it. Keep at it.
I was trying to trip you up. It didn't work very well. Do you know that you have... How many bones do you think you have in your body?
A lot.
I would know. You've got 206 bones in your body, and you've got... That's approximately, that's what they say. Doesn't that feel, that sounds strange?
So they don't know. This means they don't know exactly.
Well, no, it's different for different people.
Oh.
Some people will have one less bone, some in one
Like
place
men.
or another.
Yeah.
Skull power.
I've never heard of anybody being born without a skull, but, you know, all of this really is for conservation. They've really proven that if you really get circulation, respiration type exercises in, you not only prevent yourself from getting circulatory and heart problems, you actually, and this is really true, all you people who are trying to eat to cut your cholesterol levels, do it much faster and much better by exercising like this every day. Okay?
Okay.
Next. Down, out, back, and up. Down, out, back, and up.
Would you like me to show you how that's
Charlie
done,
knows the
Maggie?
back of my leg.
Yeah, you're doing very well.
Thank you.
I can't coordinate. I've got
And,
Charlie knows the
that's a
back of
hard
my
one to
leg.
do. Your arms have to be long enough to reach all the way down.
Yeah.
Okay. All of these, you have to, as I said, pace yourself. Even if you're trying to keep up with this part of it, if it gets too much, and if you're panting like I am, don't quit. Just slow down. Just slow down a little. If you really feel like you need to quit, by the way, you should never quit. You walk in place. Don't stop completely. You know, think about racehorses. When they finish the race, they walk them for a while. So if you're really pushing yourself, always slow down gradually. John, that's a beautiful walking in place.
Well,
Do you often walk like that? Is something bothering you? Paula, where are you? Where are you? Here she is. She's still running.
Just going around and around.
Okay, ready for another one? Now, let's see, what should we try this time? Okay, this is a nice one. This is great, again, for your inner thighs and upper thighs. And again, if you're not used to it, don't do it. Arms up overhead. Do 25 with your knees out and 25 with them together, and try to keep your elbows straight. This is only for people in pretty good condition. Knees together.
It is pretty easy to fall over. Could hop places with this.
What?
Oh.
You feel that when you try to get up from it. If you notice how quiet we get during those periods, you really should try to make exercising a habit so you can build up this kind of endurance. The more you build up, the healthier your body is. And by the way, did you know that this is where the expression, the pink of condition, comes from? Unless you really force your blood to work, hard through the veins and blood vessels, the little capillaries in your skin never really get opened up. That's why your skin gets pink when you exercise. Because all the little capillaries open up. Nobody ever explained to me what the pink of condition meant. I figured that out for myself. It has to be the right reason.
Apoplexies.
You're what? He's dancing. By the way, that's a good way to get your exercise. Dance all night. Be giddy. Stay in beautiful shape. Enjoy life. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Next one. Okay, down and out, and jump your feet apart and together.
They're doing very well, aren't they?
It's a good one.
And up. It gets warm in here.
It certainly does.
Anybody feeling any pain?
Just in the back of that leg. From this
Oh, you can really feel it. That's not pain.
It is too pain. It hurts.
What did you know?
He calls it pain.
It's my pain.
That's not pain.
How come they don't ask us?
If you have any areas that you have any real problems with, not him. He, I got to talk to you something about that too. That's men always make noises when they exercise. Yeah, I'm trying to find out why. I'm not quite sure. Have you noticed with karate? And when men are doing football exercises, Ray tells me to do the same thing. They make loud noises.
Well, the coaches tell you to make loud noises.
Well, it's great for your abdominal muscles.
Yeah, I think they do it for your psychological,
But
too.
more than for psychological, if you really force air out, it's the one way you can really use these muscles, which are to help you expire, to help you breathe out. That's the word that's used. Okay, arms out behind you, legs out, and again, out and in. If you turn your feet out, this is beautiful for your hips, the outer hip, the part that most women worry about. Keep your bottom from touching the floor. Aren't you glad you're running, Paula?
Yeah.
You're almost there, Paul. Well, don't quit now.
Excuse me.
And up. Okay. Did you know that the breath is called the great bird of life by yogis, I guess you call them? You hear that noise? The volume isn't nearly up where it should be, to tell you the truth. That's my husband snoring. My son taped that the other night. It's beautiful, except they really don't have the volume up. If you listen to that, there it goes. When he breathes, I sat up and watched him the other night. He goes, and the chest and the belly come up like this. And then with a big whoosh, it all comes back out again. You've never seen anything like it in your life. It's really spectacular. You know,
I can believe that. All that coming up and going back.
Well, he's kind of big anyway. But, you know, besides that, I keep thinking this must be beautiful exercise for his chest and belly. And considering the fact that he does smoke a lot, this is especially good for him. He's really opening his lungs really up, you know, completely. And when he pushes it out hard, so he really tightens up, really tightens. In fact, I was thinking before, what I should do really is put him in a room, a soundproof room, and open the window so he gets some fresh air to pull in that way. If your husband snores, just make sure he's doing it the right way, and let him go. It's fine. Stuff your ears full of cotton. It really doesn't work because I know the whole bed vibrates. I had a pillow under my head and over my head the other night, and the whole bed was vibrating with it. What?
Suppose they pick that up on seismographs around town or something?
I bet they could.
That's really impressive.
But if the breath is really the great bird of life, then his has to be the phoenix. Because at the rate he smokes, it's rising up out of its own ashes.
I think that was lovely.
I like that one, too. Okay, down and out. And turn your feet, hop your feet from side to side. This is great for your hips and for all the rest of your body, your shoulders, your belly, your back.
Toughens the sides of your feet, too.
And up. That's a tough one. That's a very good one, too. You know, the one important thing with exercise really is to be consistent. If you're not consistent, then you know you can hang at the same level for a long period of time. But if you're really consistent, what you do really is get used to the stress until finally the little bit of exercise doesn't feel like much. You can keep pushing on and on and on without it seeming like very much work at all. It's well worth it because you really feel great. Isn't that right?
Right.
Mariana knows. She's been pushing steadily, and boy, it's beautiful to watch. She really is a good example for everybody. Oh, I started telling you before, you have 206 bones, you have approximately 435 muscles. Approximately, again.
I have another technical question, Maggie. What am I generating in the way of heat or calories
walking.
that I'm getting rid of?
John,
Doing this.
just walking is using up 85 calories in a half an hour. And Paula is using up 250, just with that little bit of difference. And the rest of us are using up somewhere at least 350 on up. I don't know quite how far, but it wouldn't be any further than 500.
What do I use up when I study?
When you study, when you're really concentrating, quietly working away the book, you use up about half a peanut's worth in an hour, a whole hour. So that means for half an hour, sitting studying instead of running here, he'd be using up about a quarter of a peanut. That's not very much food.
Not very impressive at all.
That'd be terrible, wouldn't it? Live that, oh boy,
Ain't her.
it'd be rough. Okay, let's try another one with deep knee stuff. And this, again, is a hard one. Beginners or medium people shouldn't try it. It's really hard. Just do the regular knee bends for the medium people. And the rest of us, come down.
Oh, yes.
It's, again, good for the thighs and the bottom. Stop smiling, Paula. I asked her if she minded running all through the class, and I can see she doesn't mind a bit.
It's tiring. I'm getting my second wind, though.
Good, good.
What is the second
What is this? I heard about the
Second wind.
second wind. What is it?
It's a beautiful thing. It's, I don't know physiologically what it is, but if you keep running long enough, if you keep working hard enough, you'll get tireder and tireder and tireder, but if you just keep pushing, all of a sudden it's as if you just came out the other end of a tunnel. Everything is beautiful, you know you can go on forever. And it's, you know, a whole new burst of energy.
That's really true. You can see it especially when you're running.
Yeah,
Yes, you
The
can.
first mile or so is much harder than the second.
yeah, that's right. In fact, that's
Weird.
I found that with running, if you run as far as you can, and then walk a lap, and then start running again, all of a sudden, you know, and if you can keep running, that's fine, but I wasn't in that good condition when I started. But if you walk and run and walk and run, you can slowly build up until you're running for longer and longer periods. By the way, you know, you're burning up calories. That was the whole idea of how many calories you burn up. It's the food you take in that you really should try to run off this way. Not by not eating as much, but by working it off. Not a good idea?
Yeah, but you also have to eat not quite as much, or at least I do. I exercise quite a bit, and I really have to be pretty careful.
It's according really to what kind of food you eat. It takes, you know, knowing what foods are going to put the weight on.
You know.
Try celery or carrots.
Oh.
You can be just as nervous with celery and carrots. As a matter of fact, you can't be. Your nerves get much better. Okay, jump from side to side.
Oh, that looks like a good one.
It is a good one. Keep your hips up off the floor if you can. This is great for your hips and bottom again. And for your shoulders, and for your back, and for your neck.
Carry on, man.
And up. And run. You know, infants and children always move. They constantly move. That's why the way Paula was caught at 4 is such a good idea. Up to that point, you move just naturally. But then you get put in school and they expect you to sit still for hours, and it's terrible for kids. She's lucky that she started the dancing, and it's beautiful for you. I'd be willing to bet that most of the kids about this high can keep up with everything we're doing today. I'm glad they're not here. They make me feel terrible. They usually don't even pant when they do it. It's the least they could do to make us feel better.
I do think.
Beginners, if you've been walking all this time, you're already building up. Anything you do today that you didn't do yesterday is growing. It's building. How you doing, Paula? You said before that you could feel your legs. How they feel?
They feel, right here.
Can you feel it?
Yeah, right
The
there.
toe heel running really does get you down this part of your leg a lot more than just, you know,
But I can
running in
feel-
place without moving your foot that much. The toe heel is very good for your feet.
I can
Excellent.
feel it even more when you say to go this way. You
With
know,
the knees
point
up.
your toe.
Yeah, you want to try a good, everybody try this one. Roll right over onto your toes and down.
I feel silly doing that.
You shouldn't. That's great flexibility stuff for the foot.
Yeah?
It really is.
It's funny.
Okay, we can stop now.
Okay, and run. Got another good foot one. This is a funny one. It not only works on the foot, on the feet, it also is a very good one for the bottom. I was trying to figure out the other day what would be a good way to get the bottom so the muscles were really tight. I'm just going to let you stop for a second so you can feel this. Turn your feet this way. Isn't it called the 5th position? In ballet, and your bottom tightens up completely. Is that what it's called, the 5th position? And that really tightens your bottom up right away. So what we're going to do is an exercise that pulls that in as much as we can. We're not very good at this kind of stuff. Put your hands behind your head and pull hard so you're doing a little work with the upper part of you too. It's the only time you can do isometrics, when you're moving fast otherwise. And jump. Keep your feet as close to each other as you can. And pull hard with your arms.
For the weight.
That's great for the bottom.
My feet don't bend out very much.
For the feet, too. Try to keep them turned toe way out. Oh, look at her. She's moving.
As I said to Mr. Nureyev the other day,
Don't want to make them feel bad. Each one of these things has some specific purpose, but I really try to work so many muscles into these movements where you're running at the same time that you're pretty much using your whole body at once. If you aren't, it's because you're not doing it right. Now, you know, you move gradually up. But I hope that all the older people and any of the middle-aged people who are just starting are sticking with the walking or the jogging. If you really haven't started before, the way John's doing it is the best way. Just walk and make it toe heel. You want them all to dance?
How's that?
He invites you to the dance.
Da-dee, da-da, diddle-dee.
Oh, they're not supposed to do that. Okay, here we go. Down, one leg back and then the other.
I can hear your coffee gurgling.
And up and run. I don't know whether you caught what Ray just said. He said he could hear my coffee gurgling. If you have anything to drink just before you exercise, you sound very much like a hot water bottle. One of those old-fashioned devices. Oh, another thing that's kind of interesting. Do you know how big a difference? We've got all kinds of incidental information here today. Do you know what the difference is between your skin and inside you? Difference in degrees?
Oh, temperature,
Yeah.
you mean?
No.
It's hotter inside.
Yeah, hotter inside. How many degrees difference do you think there is?
5.
You're wrong.
Figured as much.
Try again.
98, 10.
Well, it's between
75.
10 and 15 degrees difference between your skin and the inside. And when you start moving like this, it runs your temperature up. But if you start in warm weather exercising, you always find it's much easier to move. Because when you get warm, that's why I tell arthritics to stay nice and warm. Even if the rest of your family likes a cold house, dress warmly. Because it keeps your muscles relaxed. And you can move more easily.
That's
If you
really
get cold, you get really stiff.
Yeah, I was up skiing.
Let's try something different, and everybody join me now. Okay? Now let's skip sideways around the...
That feels good.
Isn't that fun?
That's nice.
I hear all my ligaments cracking.
Feels good.
I'm not going fast enough.
Okay? And now, we're going to give 3 cheers for ourselves because we did such a beautiful job. Down. Arms out behind. Hip, hip. Hooray! Hip, hip. Hooray! Hip, hip. Hooray! That's the third test. Isn't that beautiful? It really clears your sinuses, too. It really does. Good for you. Ciao.